If you've ever used a dating app, you've probably had some bad experiences. And you may have wondered, has anyone ever been murdered off one of these things? Well, let me tell you a story. This is about a guy named Nathan. Nathan was your typical goofy, fun-loving guy. He worked at a concrete company, and his customers adored him. His coworkers? They loved him too. Life for Ethan seemed good. But Nathan was also married. And one day, things started falling apart between him and his wife. They weren't seeing eye to eye anymore. Arguments became a daily occurrence, and the tension began to eat away at Nathan. It stressed him out big time. His mental health started to suffer. His wife noticed this and suggested he get help. But Nathan? He didn't. He ignored the signs, and nothing changed. Eventually, the cracks became too big to ignore, and they separated. Nathan was devastated. How could she leave me? He thought. The separation hit him hard. Depression set in. His friends and co-workers barely recognized him anymore. The guy who used to be fun to work with became a shadow of his former self. And worse, he started to harbor dark, violent thoughts, especially toward women. And Nathan didn't just keep these thoughts in his head. He started saying them out loud, right there at work. His co-workers were uncomfortable. They tried to tell him to chill out, but it didn't help. Eventually, things boiled over. There was some kind of altercation between Nathan and a female coworker. That was the last straw. Nathan got fired. Losing his job only made things worse. Nathan isolated himself from his family and friends. He was alone. One day, while scrolling through Instagram, he saw a familiar face. Autumn. She was someone he'd worked with as a teenager, and he'd always thought she was attractive. So he slid into her DMs. Hey, Autumn. Long time no see. Want to hang out tomorrow? Autumn was polite, but distant. Sorry, I already have plans. A few days later, Nathan tried again. Want to hang? But again, Autumn brushed him off. Nah, I have plans, bro. Here's the thing. Autumn wasn't into him. She was just trying to let him down easy. But Nathan didn't get the hint. Maybe he thought she was playing hard to get. Whatever the reason, he kept texting her. Weeks turned into months, and Nathan's messages became increasingly desperate. Hey, are you doing anything tomorrow night? Hey, what's up? Hey, how are you? And each time, no response. Autumn finally ghosted him. By now, Nathan was frustrated with Autumn, with his ex-wife, with women in general. The rejection piled up, and one day, something inside him snapped. Nathan opened Tinder, swiping through profiles looking for someone, anyone. And then, boom, he matched with a woman named Ashlyn. Ashlyn was 25 years old. She worked with kids with special needs, a kind, caring soul. The two started chatting and hit it off. They decided to meet up the next night. Nathan drove to her house, picked her up, and they went to a local bar. He was polite, even charming. They spent about 4 hours there, drinking and chatting. Ashlyn liked him. He seemed nice. So, when Nathan invited her back to his place, she said yes. Back at his place, they watched a movie. One thing led to another, and they ended up hooking up. Afterward, they fell asleep. It seemed like the date was going well. Maybe, just maybe, Nathan had turned a corner. But at 3 a.m., Nathan woke up. He looked over at Ashlyn, sleeping peacefully beside him. And that's when it happened. Nathan snapped. He reached over, wrapped his hands around her throat, and started choking her. Ashlyn woke up, fighting for her life. She hit him, scratched him, did everything she could, but Nathan was too strong. He wouldn't let go. Eventually, he did let go, but it wasn't over. Nathan ran into the kitchen. Ashlyn, gasping for air, had no time to react before he came back, this time with a knife. He stabbed her, over and over, 10 times. Ashlyn lay there, bleeding, dying, and then Nathan did something shocking. He called 911. I just killed someone, and I want to kill myself. The 911 operator immediately dispatched police to Nathan's house. When they arrived, they found Ashlyn. Sadly, it was too late. She didn't make it. When police questioned Nathan, his confession was chilling. "You attacked her completely unprovoked?" asked the police. "Yeah," replied Nathan with a shaking voice. He was arrested, charged with first-degree murder, and later pleaded guilty. Nathan was sentenced to a minimum of 15 years in prison. Ashlyn was a good person. She worked with kids. She didn't deserve this. So, yeah, be careful on dating apps. Subscribe, like, and share for more stories.